We begin with the part 2, the writing part of the exam scheme. The first question is the question 16. It is to find the perimeter, circumference and areas of two-dimensional figures. We have a figure here and they have told us to find the perimeter or circumference. Perimeter in case of all these shapes, but if it's a circle, it'll be circumference. And the area of each figure, if each unit of the graph measures 1 centimeter, round your answers to nearest tenth. Nearest 10 means just write 10. How many zeros are there? So there must be one digit after the decimal point. If your answer is 7.234, you should just write 7.2. Okay, round it off just to one decimal point. That's nearest 10. Now let's solve this problem. Here we can see a two-dimensional figure. The perimeter over here would be the sides, all these sides, sum all these sides up. Now you can count these sides from here to here, or you can just do 9 minus 1. It's the vertical distance. It's always y axis, right? Y. If I consider this as x1, this will be y1. I'll consider this to be x2, y2 and x3, y3. Now to find this height, it's the y coordinate subtracted. 9 minus 1 would be 8. So this distance from here to here is 8, or you can just count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 till this point only. What about this? Again 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can do 4 by x2 minus x1, the previous coordinate. It's 4 minus 0, that's 4. Whenever it's straight lines, it's easy to count. But what about this line over here? This is the hypotenuse. It's 90 degree over here. Hypotenuse. How would we solve it? There are different ways to solve this. The one generally used in the textbook is the distance formula, I believe. The distance formula is given by square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Now here remember, you can even interchange these x2 and x1. You will get the same answer because this difference is squared. So it doesn't matter what, it will be squared. This sign will be positive itself. You can consider over here, this is x2 and 3. That's fine. You can consider 0 as x2 minus 4 the whole square plus, what is y2 over here? So 1 minus 9 the whole square, the square root of this. So it will be 4 square 16 plus it is 8, 64 here. Square root of this would be 70, 80. So square root 80 would be the hypotenuse. This is the distance. Another way to solve is if you know the Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem is anything that is opposite to the 90 degree angle. This is the hypotenuse. If I consider this to be C and let me take A and B over here, these two are the two distances. So the hypotenuse is the longest length. Square of that will be the sum of the squares of other two sides. What does that mean? It would mean the square of this, I'll write the formula first, a squared plus b squared. So the distance over here, hypotenuse would be 8 squared plus 4 squared, and over here we get 64 plus 16, but here it is c squared. So you need to take square root on both these sides. You will get c is equal to, over here it'll be the same answer. C 64 and 16, 64 and 16, it will be square root 80. So that is the answer. So it should be the same because it is 90 degree over here, and this is the way to do it. It's up to you, whichever way you can choose. Now what next? We have found all the sides. Now just add them all for the perimeter. Perimeter is sum of all the sides. Okay, so if you consider this to be A, B, C, perimeter would be A plus B plus C, and that would be 8 plus 4 plus C. We found out to be square root 80. You can put this in the calculator, you will get the answer and round it off to the nearest 10. What is the area? Area is given as, since this is a triangle, right angle triangle, it will be half base into the height. Remember, this height is the vertical straight line, 90 degree line, height, altitude. It's also called altitude. This 90 degree line, this is a straight line, right? Sorry, that was crooked. But anyways, this line, okay, that would be the height. H is 8. What about base? Base is 4. The slant height is not considered. Half of that. That is the area. So it'll be 1 times 2 times. So 8 times 2 is 16. So area is 16. There is centimeter, right? So it's centimeters square. Remember, here the base is also centimeter, height is centimeter. So 2 centimeter will be squared up when you multiply. Now this one will be only centimeter because you're adding up units that remain the same. The dimension remains the same. Let's take our calculators. You need to add these sides, right? 8 plus 4 plus root 80. This is not the correct, this is the correct answer, but you need to write it in terms of decimal to the nearest tenth. Press this number symbol over here, ST. You'll get 20.94. So this 4 is lesser than the number 5. So you just leave it as 20.9. The answer is 20.9. Let's just check the answer. Yes, it's 20.9 and area we got was 16. And this is the answers. So that is how we solve it up. Now here, if you're thinking why I did so much, I just did 2 different methods. You can choose any one of that. So here also the Pythagoras theorem is used. The distance formula is used over here. So you can use even the Pythagoras and solve it up. Now this is a rectangle here. Similar way, please try this by yourselves. Pause the video now, try it by yourselves and then continue watching it. Now we need to find the sides first. Now look over here, they're all slanted. You can do, say for example, consider this as 90 degree, find this is 2, this is 4, and then find the heights. That is possible. Or you can use the distance formula. The distance formula will generally be used in such cases because it's slanting. It'll be x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. We just now did this, so I will leave this up to you, but I will just mark it out. You need to find at least 2 distances. These opposite are equal. This and this sides are equal. This and this is equal. So find any 2. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. Find it out, and then after that you can use this x1, y1 and find it with the x2, y2, or you can do this side. Find both the sides, add them all up. That'll be the perimeter. Perimeter would be sum of all sides. Sum of all the sides gives you the perimeter, whereas area is length into width or length into base. Or length into width would be more accurate here, L into W. So you can just take 1 AB multiplied by the line of CB or D. So that would be how we can solve it. See over here the length. Now, which is this length? Over here we have used 7 minus 4. So you can see 7 minus 4. Yeah, you can also make this first. Y2 minus Y1 is also fine because it's adding, okay? So they have done over here 7 minus 4. The y is first and then the x minus 2 minus 4. Okay, it's like y, they have considered this to be y2, y1. It's fine. Anyhow, you will get the correct answer itself. Just to, reassure it, I will just solve it up. Same a and b, I'll use this formula. It'll be the square root of x2. The x2 I have considered is 4 minus of minus 2. The whole square plus y2 is 4 minus 7 the whole square. And if you simplify this, it'll be minus of minus will be plus. So it'll be 6 squared plus 7 minus 4 is 3, but it's negative 3 the whole square. Now it doesn't matter, it's negative 3. Why? Because it'll be positive anyways when you square any number. So it'll be 36 plus 3 square is 9. And 946 minus 1, it's 45. Square root 45 is the answer. Now let's look over here. It's the same answer. See. After this length, we can do width. We can select any of these 2 sides and solve it up. Here you can see it is 4 and 4. This is considered, and 0 and 2. These 2 points are considered. And the width is found out. It's root 20. And then when you put it, add the sums over here. Now here, remember the formula for a rectangle for perimeter It's basically add all this. This will be root 45, root 45, root 20 plus root 20. Or you can use 2 times length plus width. This is also possible. Or perimeter formula is given by multiply this 2 inside, 2 times length, 2 times width. So this is what is used. The area is just length into width. And that's it. That's how we solve that. And now here we have a circle. Same concept. Now here you cannot directly find this measure, the radius, right? But the points are given. Just use the distance formula. So I'll directly substitute the formula. It's x2 minus x1, 4 minus 2 the whole square plus 1 minus 3 the whole square. And now you'll get 2 square plus 2 again square. It will be minus 2 square. Here now, instead of squaring and getting 4 plus 4 root 8, we can also consider this to be 2 times 2 square. The square root. So over here the square and square root cancels. You can take this 2 out. 2 root 2 would be the answer. That is the radius. What is the circumference? Circumference would be C is equal to 2 pi r. Now this distance is basically the radius from center to any point of the circle. It's only the radius, not the diameter. So we will use C is equal to 2 pi r. This is the formula for the circumference. And now substitute 2 pi into r is 2 root 2. So it will be 4 pi root 2 or 4 root 2 pi. And what about the area? Area is pi r square. So you basically have to square 2 root 2. The whole square. Over here will be pi. Square of 2 is 4. And over here we will have root 2 times root 2. It's 2. So it will be 8 pi. This would be the area of the circle. So this is how we can easily solve it up. We got over. They have considered root 8, which is same as 2 root 2 itself. It's fine. Oh, I forgot it's nearest 10th. So we need to use our calculators. Let's take our calculators. Here you can see the perimeter, sorry, the circumference. For circle, we don't call it perimeter, it's circumference. Is 4 pi root 2 or 4 root 2 pi. That is equal to 17.77, which will correspond to 17.8 centimeter. It's nearest 10. That's the circumference. How do we find area? It is simple, pi r square. So what you can do is over here already pi is there. Just square, make this term as your r radius value. That is 2 root 2, which we are using. That is same as root 8, okay? That's 8 point. Now I forgot to square it. Pi r squared. The radius will be squared and it's 8 pi. That is what we got. But when you press SD, you will get 25.13. So we write just only 25.1 squared. So that's the area, the circumference. This is same like just now's problem. Now all you need to do is find the distance. You'll find the radius between these 2 points. The distance between those 2 points are the radius. And then you need to use this formula of circumference and area to solve it. Please try it by yourself and then check the solutions. Even over here we did it just a while ago, but this seems like a square rather than a rectangle. And they have told it's I mean, you can find it out to be squared because 2 sides will be equal. Okay. Now, the perimeter for a square, you can add up all the sides or you can just write it as 4 times side, because side, 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 there are 4 sides, it's 4 times side, or add them up. And the area is very simple, multiply any 2 sides, but since all the sides are same, you just square it up. And that's it. And we had done the same problem in the first problem in this question. So we had a similar problem where it was a right angle triangle, but it's not a right angle triangle, but the concept is same. Remember here there is one important thing, one extra step. To find area, we need the vertical, the altitude, the 90-degree line. So you need to find this h as well over here. Okay, so that's it. You need to find the base. Base is very simple, 1 2 3 4 and 1 2. So it'll be 2 minus of minus 4 or minus 4 minus 2. That'll be 6. Basically you're taking only the positive value. And see here, first you can find the distance between these 2 sides. After finding the distance of all these sides, you can just add them up and make it as the perimeter, just adding it up. But the area is important. Area would be base into height. And over here, you can find the distance from here, or you can just count it out 1, 2, 3, 4. And over here it was 6. That's the area. That is the last problem in the question number 16. Please do try solving these problems by yourselves. And if you have any doubts or questions, please post them in the comments.